Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving, watched all the games, enjoyed all the games as much as you could. A lot of weird ones, a lot of ones that you're like, damn, bro, is this like, Broncos, no quarterback. What are you going to do there? Steelers, Ravens might play this week still. They might play tonight for all we know. I don't know. By the time this video goes up, they could have been moved already. So, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the theme of Week 12. It was just weird. I mean, let's just jump into it right now with the Broncos. Kendall Hinton. Am I saying his name right? Yeah, Kendall Hinton. Kendall Hinton. Yes, there we go. He just started a game for the Broncos after all three quarterbacks tested positive for COVID-19, as I'm sure all of you guys heard. Practice squad wide receiver that pretty much played quarterback at a D3 college back when. Started a game in the NFL. Crazy enough to think that actually happened. He didn't do bad. He threw 2 picks only. 1 for 9, 13 yards. Well, only catch by Noah Fant, but that's rough. I mean, football, when you get past the X's and O's, I mean, obviously the Saints dominated. If they would have lost that game, shit, if the Broncos would have scored a touchdown, I'd have considered that a fucking dub. That's a lot to ask. Let me put it to you this way. The Broncos called the NFL to ask if one of their assistant strength coaches could play quarterback because he used to play quarterback in college and he knew the playbook. That's how bad it was. Now, I'm not the NFL took the policy of we trust our players to be responsible in a situation of COVID, right? You guys can handle it. We don't need to bubble it. But with that being said, I feel like you got to make a change. There's always exceptions to the rules when things get extreme. I feel like this is one of them. I mean, you can't, it's not that they would have won regardless, but they would have had a shot. Drew Brees is out. But putting the Broncos up against the Saints without a quarterback, that's almost disrespectful. I guess in a sense, maybe the way the NFL sees it is this is what happens when you don't listen. This is what you're going to have to put out on the field, which I get, harsh, but effective. Because I'm sure as hell, especially on that Broncos team, COVID, safety precautions are going to be taken to an extreme. Rightfully so, I think it should. So I could see kind of both sides. It's just very unfortunate. And if you're a Broncos fan and you watch every game, that was probably the hardest one you had to watch potentially in your lifetime. I mean, fuck, that was bad. Let's take a step back. All right, last week the Raiders almost beat the Chiefs. They were looking fantastic. Going in against the Cardinals, I'm sure everybody picked up Derek Carr as a hot start quarterback for fantasy against the 32 ranked defense when it comes to the Falcons for quarterbacks. I was one of them. I didn't start him because I had Herbert, but thank God I didn't. Jesus. I don't know what the hell happened. They were drunk, hungover, high, fucked up all at once, swirl it around. John Gruden, oh man. I mean, how do you explain that one? Derek Carr, Jesus Christ. You could have put in Trubisky back there and he could have done better. She could have put in Jamarcus Russell back there. That was rough. I mean, I'm not saying it's all in the quarterback. 6-43 against the Falcons. And the crazy thing is, I was just expecting the Raiders to come back in the fourth quarter, score 50 points and win because it's the Falcons, but they didn't. That's what's the concerning part. The Falcons dominated the whole game and held the lead to the finish. I mean, I know Dan Quinn isn't there anymore, but holy shit, are you serious, bro? I mean, that's weird in and of itself. On top of that, I don't see the Raiders getting smacked up again, but that loss was huge. They're in a tight wild card race. They're not winning the division. They're in the Chiefs division. But they got the Browns to worry about, the Colts to worry about. The Ravens, not so much, but that's kind of who they're fighting with. It was big. It makes their road to the playoffs a little more difficult, a little more suspenseful, if you will, than it should have. Browns are 8-3. I don't know if they're going to catch the Browns. I mean, obviously it's the Browns. Anything could happen, right? But this year they actually might make the playoffs, which would be incredible, first of all. Second of all, it'll, the way they're winning, they're 8-3 right now, which makes the Raiders 2 games back. It's not looking good. Obviously the Colts lost heavy to the Titans, so, that kind of helps a bit. All in all, John Gruden, Derek Carr, the whole Raiders, hopefully Josh Jacobs gets healthy. I know he got injured with that ankle. I don't know if he played in the game because I didn't necessarily watch the whole game. But If they were smart, they probably would have rested him. They were getting rocked anyway. Now, to stay on the topic of running backs, Josh Jacobs is good. Great, even. But then we got King Henry. Did you see what that man did to the Colts? I mean, it's crazy, right? To think of the stats, right? 6'3", 230, runs like a 4.3, 4.4, and he's a running back, and he doesn't go down. Like, fuck, man. Derrick Henry and the Titans might be in the AFC Championship again. Like, it might be Chiefs-Titans again for the AFC, like, to represent in the Super Bowl. They're just that good. If they played against the Steelers, I guarantee you they would run through the Steelers. I don't know. I think the Titans are really good. I think they're the second best team in the AFC currently as it's all constructed. I know the Steelers are 10-0, and that's heavy disrespect, especially if you're a Steelers fan. I got to see it. I got to see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying? If they play tonight against the Ravens and they, like, blow them out of the water, sure. You know, but I really got to see it. There haven't really been too many convincing wins. There have been a lot of close games against bad teams. I know that doesn't matter, but they're 10-0, and you don't want to let down in the playoffs. So the Steelers are a very weird team, very conflicting. We'll see. We'll see. I think we're going to get back to King Henry, though. Man's an absolute monster. Like I said, he should be able to carry the Titans deep into the playoffs, barring injury. That man gets better as the season progresses. Unlike most running backs, he starts off slow. It's been like this the last 3 years. He's like, you know, slowly getting into it. And like by the time week 8, week 10 rolls around, like you're not going to stop him. You're going to slow him down. Maybe if you're lucky enough to do it, you got the right pieces. But he's just going to run right through you, and he's going to take the Titans as far as they can go. I don't know, and I don't think they'll beat the Chiefs, but they'll meet the Chiefs in the playoffs at some point, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out again. Now, if we want to get excited, you know, a little oddball, right? A little, how do I say, I don't know why, but let's go Washington football team, all right? Off the field, they're not really a team you want to represent, but I think the reason I root for them to win the NFC least is because, well, it is what I just said it is. It's a division full of shit teams across the board. Now, I will say this, the Giants are getting better, and that's why me saying that I choose the Washington football team, or I want them to win the division. I think they will with Alex Smith. I think that'd be, first of all, a great story. Second of all, I do think that they have enough pieces around him to make that happen. They got Antonio Gibson, fantastic running back. Scary Terry McLaurin, great wide receiver. Alex Smith has been there and done it. Obviously, he's coming off an injury that most, if not all people that have had it before him have never played professional sports again. So the Giants, on the other hand, that defense is great. Daniel Jones got injured, but they also won, and they're both 4-7. So currently the Giants are at the top of the division after, of course, the Eagles loss. I got a feeling. It's like a weird gut feeling. I got the football team making like this crazy sort of appearance that nobody ever thought. And honestly, the main reason for that prediction is Ron Rivera. If I look at all the coaches in the NFC East, Mike McCarthy got carried by Aaron Rodgers. Doug Peterson has lost all control of Carson Wentz, so that's going to go down the shitter. Joe Judge, first year, he could be good, but I don't really know him. Ron Rivera is the safest bet. That man is a great coach. People love him. People have to play for them, and he knows what he's doing. I mean, sure, it's not an ideal situation, but if you give him this situation where all the teams are bad and you just got to be the least shit out of all four, or apart from the other three teams, I mean, Ron Rivera's your guy. Like, he's going to do it, and, you know, I think it'd be fucking awesome to see the Washington football team in the playoffs. I don't know. They're going to get fucking rocked, but fuck the Cowboys. With that being said, we got one more subject to cover. I saved this one for last because it's the one that's going to take the most out of me. It's the most emotional, and it's just something that like we're gonna briefly cover. There's going to be an in-depth video about what the Bears need to do, but what the fuck was that, dude? The Packers. Okay, so it's one thing to let somebody drop 40 points on you. It's another thing to let that team be the Packers when you're the Bears. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where the Bears can have a great season, but if you can't beat the Packers, it doesn't matter. Like, the Bears could win all of their games, right? They're 5-6. They could go 9-6. Their last game is against the Packers. You don't beat the Packers, you're not doing shit. What I'm trying to say is Aaron Rodgers is the Chicago Bears kryptonite. They will never win anything until he is out of that division. And they need to kind of give a nice erase or a reload, which I prefer because there's enough talent to reload. You don't have to tear it down, but you have to reload. Okay? Ideally, you lose out. You lose out 5-11. The problem with that is management might axe the coach, and I personally, crazy to say, I actually do like Nagy. He was a coach of the year 2 years ago. Yet to have a losing season and might not have one this year. So I think we hold Nagy. I think we hold Pace. I think he's built a good-ass team minus the quarterback. And obviously people are going to say and point, doesn't matter if you don't have a quarterback. You're right, but here's my proposal. Instead of wiping the slate clean, because I can't personally deal with that shit anymore. It's been too long. One good year, then we're going to wipe it again. Fuck that. What we're going to do is reload. So we either lose out, which it would make things easier, but I don't think that's the way to go. Or we make a trade. Okay? The Chiefs had the 22nd pick in the draft. They trade up to 10 to get Mahomes. The Bears are on pace right now to have about the 16th pick. If they go 8-8, somewhere around there. They overachieve. They're around 20. They underachieve. They're closer to the 10th spot. They need to trade up and grab a quarterback. You got 3, just like the year they drafted Trubisky. You got 3. Pick one, and don't fuck it up. The defense is still there. They're just waiting for somebody to come along and not suck shit. Just give us a top 16. Like 16, if our total offense is 16th in the league with the Bears defense, I promise you no one will beat that team. They're that good. The defense is that good, but you need to reload. You need to reload the quarterback position, and unfortunately, the only way you're going to do it is by reloading the entire offense, right? Cut all the offensive linemen, because that's the biggest issue, the O-line. Cut all the high-paid O-linemen. You can't sign Allen Robinson back, so that's going to have to go, and you're going to have to cut Jimmy Graham. And Trubisky's gone. You could keep Foles because you got some money to pay him, and then have a rookie quarterback. That's the route I would go. Rebuild the O-line. I love Allen Robinson. We can't afford him. Can't keep him. He doesn't even really want to be here. Fought $18 million in our pocket. Let's get that quarterback. And then hopefully this time next year, Allen Robinson will be wishing that he stayed because we actually have a quarterback. That's the easiest way to fix the problem. Bad news Bears. 2020. What can I say? It's hard to go to another team. Loyalty is deep. But they got to get their shit together. That was embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be a Bears fan after that loss. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice night. Have a nice week. Peace.